And welcome, good people. Another episode of Bruce Leroy Bar Report, episode 6 to be exact, man. And we moving along very nicely. We got none other than player Barz in the building. In the building, the one and only for sure. How you doing today?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I can't complain. I can't complain at all. I'm glad to have you on here for sure.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Of course. Hey, the platform is there for anybody that I think is influential, doing something not only for themselves, but for a collective like you do for the community. So it's much appreciated in return.
I appreciate it.
Let's just get started.
Right.
Your name, your backstory.
So I go by Player Barz, motherfucking Player Barz, whatever you feel, PB. Shit. Backstory, I don't even know how I stumbled on to that, honestly. I think honestly it was me paying homage to Pimp C a little bit, because it was kind of like, Pimp C, Player B, so that's kind of where that kind of sprung up from. But I had a couple different names. I think, so I used to jump on this website back in the day called Dope Tracks, and like, I don't know, a lot of OGs may know what that is,
it's
but
still
like
spinning.
they may not. No, they just shut it down.
Shut it down?
Because I had some people like last year and it was still up.
Okay.
So I went to go show somebody one of the joints that I did, like young me, like 12, 13-year-old me.
Okay.
Low-key recording off like a webcam and shit. Like, but I was jumping on beats and sending niggas songs that we were recording back and so like really working, like me and like older motherfuckers, but I was really on that like 12, 13 type shit.
Okay.
So I think it was Miss Kayla at one point, because my name's Michaela, so it kind of was a spin off that. And then I think it was, Tanae the Kid was another one, because Tanae's my middle name, so I rocked with that one for a minute. And then when I got in high school, I started rapping a lot more for people, and it was kind of like, oh man, you got bars when I was spit. So then they were like, oh, bars. So it just kind of ended up being like, we just gonna call you that. Then
Barz with a Z, right?
Yeah, Barz with a Z, with a Z. Make sure you get the Z, not the S. But I've had people ask me like random shit off of that, like bars, like Xanax bars, like you go to the bar a lot, like somebody said handlebars one time, or monkey bars, or just corny shit, just slam. But yeah, man, that's kind of how that came about. I like bars though, because I feel like it's a conversation kind of a name. Because you could be like, oh, my name's like Stevie R, and they'd be like, oh, Stevie R must stand for something. They wouldn't really ask no questions about it. So like bars is kind of like one that kind of gets people kind of curious, like bars.
Yeah.
What you mean? You got some bars or something? And I always am like real kind of like shy with my response. I was like, yeah, a little something, I spit a little something. Yeah.
We can't tell by the stage performance, by all that. So it's like you can't tell that you shy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, I grew into that because I have like honestly like terrible social anxiety. It's gotten a lot better, and I'm like sometimes really socially awkward because like I don't really know what to say sometimes. So I'm just kind of like I won't say much, but honestly, shout out to like everybody in McCormick's. Shout out to like Homegrown Hype, Nia, Jesus, Toast, like all of those guys. Like, cause really, when I first started like popping up in McCormick's, cause like a common misconception is that I'm from South Bend. I'm actually not. I'm from Michigan. Okay. I'm from Berrien Springs. Gotcha. So when I started coming out here and started like messing with them, like to see how they went about it, especially Zeus, bro. Like the first time because Zeus be in the cut like me as foreign, Zeus be ducked off.
Oh, absolutely.
So the first time I ever saw him like perform, because he just always like drawing, cool guy in the corner. And then one day I was like, why he don't never perform? Like I want to see him perform. Mm-hmm. So he just like, all right, I got you. And he like was kicking chairs and shit and was mad energy. And I was like, yo, like I want to do that type shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel like enough like oomph to be able to like, yeah. So I started like slowly but surely kind of like putting myself out there and being like, starting like awkwardly and like just kind of, and it just kind of blossomed into like, I can do it. I know I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I've watched the greats do it, and it kind of gave me kind of like inspiration too. So that's definitely, I definitely have to pay homage to those guys. And like open mic night every Monday. Thank you to Art for real, because
shout out to Art McCormick.
Most definitely, because it really kind of allows me, even now, like songs that I'm unsure of, that I'm uncomfortable with, like as a whole. Because I feel like as an artist, you have cuts that they're just comfortable to do, and then you've got the ones that are like, maybe it's more personal, or maybe it's outside of it's a little different. So trying to perform it for a crowd is like, you sometimes it's you're a little kind of scared
about it.
It's a little hesitant. For sure. So it's nice to have a place that like feels like Cheers, like everybody knows your name. That's what it's kind of the vibe, and like everybody's cool. They're the homies, they're family. So you can kind of, if you're drunk and everybody's doing their thing and you stumble over some shit, it's like practices. So I like being able to do that. That's where that stage presence comes from. Because honestly, like my first show I ever did in Atlanta, my first show I ever did was in Atlanta. And it was for like, last January?
Last January, okay.
Yeah. So I just got into doing this. I've been making music since I was like 7, but I just got into
stage presence.
Yeah, just coming out and like putting my music on platforms for people to listen to, and really I was really shy about it for so long. Okay. So this is my first like 2 years really tapping in. But my first show was like a huge venue in Atlanta. It was in Decatur.
Nice.
And it was for like some A&Rs from some different places and stuff, and it was like for some pretty big kind of networking guys down in Atlanta. And so I was like shook. Like my first one, I was shook, and the music was too loud, and I was too loud. But I was trying to be enthusiastic and less scared. So I think I ended up coming off like I was shouting low key because I got videos and I was hella loud. But like at least I wasn't quiet and like timid. Right. I was trying to come, but I was really like in a spot kind of. I didn't do a lot of like extra movement. I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna say this and then get the hell off the stage kind of a thing. So,
but that like you said, it probably overcame you for like the next show or the next show.
I just slowly but surely over the last 2 years have just been kind of caterpillar into what I'm on now. But I still got a lot more like oomph that I'd like to put into shit sometimes. But I'm still kind of shy sometimes. So I'm working on it.
But see, people like me and the people you mentioned for the community, it's like they go harder. Like I literally listen to your music and I'm like, damn, she's got it. And I know they think the same thing, where it's like, not only do you have this confidence in you where you put the music out, but you actually put it out. Yeah. A lot of people can say, oh, I got music, I got this, that, and the other,
but they don't got it.
We can't hear it if you're not putting it out.
Yeah, and
your growth is dope to see for sure.
Thank you, bro. Because it was a long time. Like I actually went to school for music when I got out of high school.
Nice.
And I started making beats and like making a lot of music, and I was like, I made it, but I didn't put it anywhere. Like I had like a little low-key SoundCloud that I would drop some things on, but like I ain't really tell a lot of people about it, which randomly I think people actually probably put my name in wrong. Because low-key, I looked at it one day and I had mad spins, dog. And I was like, how did y'all even know about this page? But it was like, it'll tell you like places in Russia, like random spots in different parts of the world that they spun this. And I'm like, that's crazy to me, but that's what's up. Like, if you like my shit in Prague, then like,
come on now.
That's what's up.
You got overseas views. Come on now, for sure. Let's get into the Great Tape.
Okay.
You just recently released. That was this year, correct?
That was last year.
Last year, okay. So last year, roughly around this time.
October 15th.
Gotcha.
I dropped.
How did that come about? Because I know. I found it on YouTube.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's the only platform it's on,
YouTube
but
and SoundCloud.
SoundCloud as well. Yeah. Okay. But I heard it and I was like, I gotta meet not only her, but just meet the person that you are and see where the music came from, because you do a great job, and it's only like what, 7, 8 tracks?
Yeah, 7. It's 7 joints.
And no skippables. In my opinion, no skips.
Okay, bet. That's what I was going for. I genuinely, and I think that's what's probably taking so long with this new one that I'm working on to come out, because I want no skips. Yeah. Like that's the kind of shit I want, because I grew up in the CD era, which is I'm born in '95.
Youngin.
I'm young, but I'm getting old out here.
I'm 87,
I'll be 27
so it's like
this year. I'll be 27 this year.
Okay.
So I'm getting up there, but. I remember listening. You throw the CD on, and like some of the joints cuts I used to play, like at old Invincible Mike Jack album is probably my favorite, and I used to listen to that bitch heavy.
That's not a favorite. That's not one that's like it's not off the wall thriller, but Invincible is.
But it's so slept on to me, because you've got cuts like Butterfly. You've got like
I was just about to say
Butterfly.
Man.
You've got that joint with Chris Tucker on there.
Rock My World.
There were so many cuts. To me, that was a no skipper.
Okay.
And there was other joints that I listened to. My pops had the little CD case with all the little, like the big one, you unzip it and shit, look like a suitcase.
Oh yeah.
It's got all the little cuts in there. And I used to listen to like, you know, TLC and like he had some Tupacs in there, some Queen Latifahs, like all the joints. And it was like there'd be other random stuff in there. And like, or growing up, you listen to different albums you go buy, Target, Walmart, whatever you get it. And I just hated the cuts that you only listened to 3. And it was a waste. It was like kind of like a waste of an album.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're like, damn, what am I gonna do with the rest of this? I only like track 3, track 11, and track 9. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like any of the other songs on the album.
Yeah.
So it was kind of important for me to make. But it actually, I didn't. When I made it, it had nothing to do with making an album that would be unskippable. It just came out unskippable.
For sure.
So now after I feel like I kind of have
organic.
to continue with that.
Yeah.
But it really just kind of just came out that way.
But you found your way with that, and it's like I know I'm probably not the first person to say it to you when it comes to it, but it's like
I appreciate it.
you found your lane with that one. And it's like you're gonna just elevate from there. So that's how I see it.
I was trying to tap in from like. Because I've always been kind of geared toward like battle rap type bars or just 16s where I could really just show niggas I could spit.
Absolutely.
And that I could keep up, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times females kind of you either have to be like over sexualized or you have to be hard. There is no in between, you know what I mean? And a lot of times you have to be hard in a way that's kind of gangster with it. And I'm not a gangster nigga.
Right.
I never pretend to be that. I ain't grow up around gangster niggas like that's just. I've been around OGs, don't get me wrong, and I know what's up, but that's not me. That's not my lane. So I'll never play like it is. But it's nice to like still be able to have cuts that people can in those lanes can appreciate, or still be able to like fit in spaces, but not still be able to do my thing. So
it's a memory thing. It's like your music is gonna be here long after you're going.
That's
the end goal for a lot of people. It's like where you can listen to this 20 years later and it still sound the same way as
And I was trying to tap into like sounds that were more current but still have my own space. Because I am not, if you know anything about me, I am not a trendy as far as like I follow what's cool at the time type of nigga. I won't even watch shit on Netflix when it comes out, when a million people are hyping it up. I'm that nigga that be like, I'll catch it.
I'll catch it when I catch it,
bro.
For sure.
I'll catch it. Because I don't feel like I need to. Like, it'll be at the...
It's going to be there.
Or I'll listen to some slept-on niggas or low-key shit, and then all of a sudden it'll pop after that. I like doing that, though. I like, kind of giving the underdogs a shot kind of thing. So.
And that's how I am with my music. It's like, I might just pull up something like, say, for instance, I might pull up something on Apple Music, and it could be Barz, what to say, for example. But some similar artist to you will pop right up, and it's like, okay, if you sound like this, and I know I'm gonna like this next artist, but stuff like that. So it's dope. Definitely. I know you already spoke on like your stage presence and this, that, and the other. You just recently did a Twista tour.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because that's crazy. The stories I've been hearing, you beat out a lot of people to get to that spot.
I low-key did.
So I want to hear your story on that.
So basically, I was kind of looking to kind of go into my own lane because I wanted to, kind of make my own things shake. I don't always want, which is lovely because now I've had people like, yo, you want to do this show and you want to do this, you want to do that, and that's beautiful. But like I wanted to be able to also have my own things lined up to stay current, and then if other things pop up, then I can work them in also. But I want to still have things like going on for myself. So I was like, all right, let me try to set some things up. Yeah. So I just I like the gram honestly for networking. I really like it to like see new people and like things that you don't typically get a chance to see. Yeah. So I kind of was just like looking for some, I don't even know what I put in, honestly. It just was really just one of those, just kind of looking for things to do. And a show popped up that was like a contest to open up for Twista in these states. And so it was like, if you can come to this particular venue on this day, blah, 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 text this number kind of a thing. So I was like, all right, I'll bite, So they ended up saying, come out to this spot in Arizona, which I got family out there. Nice. My sisters and stuff live out there. So I was like, and I used to go to music school out there. Nice. So I'm familiar with the area a little bit. So I was like, okay. So I went out there and I thought it was just one crack, and it was apparently the semifinals, but I thought it was just one and done because that's kind of how it sounded. So I ended up doing it, and like they're like, I actually got it on Snap of me hearing the dude be like, and the winner is, and he's like, player bars, and it was like that, because there was at least like 15, 16 cats that went. So that was kind of cool, because I feel like I'm always the underdog, most definitely, because I'm a female, and then the way I look, like most people either think I'm gonna be like hella cheesy, or they just gonna be like, yeah. And then I feel like I get to kind of have like a little stick of dynamite kind of.
Yeah, you lit some fire under a lot of people.
But initially when you first, you be like, I don't know how this is gonna go, kind of a thing. So it was really cool to feel that. And then it's funny because my sisters, I was with my older sisters, and they ended up going to the store, and they didn't even hear that I won.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm coming out to go to the car, and I'm like, where are these hoes at? Like, I can't sorry if I was supposed to cuss, whatever.
No, you good.
But I'm
good.
like, where they at? You know? And one of the judges walked past me, and he was like, dapping me up or whatever. Which shout out to Hector, because Hector's with Confusion Phoenix, because he's really cool. I'm actually doing a battle. And Battle of the MCs with him on January 15th, out back in Arizona again. But he just kind of was telling me that they really fucked with me because I was real hip hop, and I was like, damn, that's a beautiful thing for somebody to say to you, and just be like, because we heard the bars, we dissected it, we listened to it, and compared to everything else, like that was real rap. It wasn't like necessarily just the pop rap that kind of is the thing now. Where it's just kind of, you just say shit that people like to beat. Because it's funny, because I have certain types of people listen to my music and I go, I don't really like rap, but I like that beat though. I like that song, which is cool. I'm not knocking none of that. If that's why you like it, that's why you like it. But it's kind of like to be recognized for the bars and for metaphors and lyrics and stuff. Like that was really cool for him to say like, it's hip hop. So that's how we ended up on the battle tip too. Was just like, I heard them, you know what I'm saying? So I know they in there. So if you're trying to do this, we could do this too. So that was cool. So then I didn't know, he was like, oh, we're gonna do a finals now in Chicago. So I'm like, man, I'm thinking Chi-Town. I'm thinking it's like Drill City. It's like a lot going on. So I was like, man, this gonna be like really low key, kind of like tough. And shout out to Toast and Rome, because they drove in the rain to come see me 100. Do my thing, and that one actually was like a little smaller, which was a little surprising, but it was like, it was real drill. There was a lot of drill shit going on, and then you get like me, which I'm not at all, and I'm always kind of like coming in the room awkwardly, like when I'm around a bunch of gangster niggas and you got me, and then it's just like, I'm kind of like,
but you understood the assignment, and you tackled
went through
it.
And did my thing, so dog's like, you ready to go on tour? I'm like, yeah. So I didn't even know like the tour was like next week. It started like off top.
Okay.
So I just kind of jumped into it, and then just was on tour for like a month.
That's dope.
And it was cool. I got to go to like see a lot of different stuff. We went to Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and then we went to Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado was really cool.
That's dope.
So we got to see some different types of venues, and just being in a room with Twista, and there was times where he wouldn't even have a beat on, and he would just start spitting as fast as he could, and just bars, just
tongue twisters.
And you're like, what? Like he's snapping right now. And he's like, can I go off right quick? And you're like, please
of course,
go
keep
off.
going.
Or like, So just to see how people respond to that and get a taste of it, because it's like, I know you're here to see dog, but like you're in here now, and you got to see me too, and like to get a similar energy out of them that they're giving him is like, it was crazy to me.
That's dope. That's dope for sure. Yeah, and it's gonna take you far for sure, just by having that experience.
Under my belt, I learned a lot. I saw a lot. I got to peep, a lot of music industry type shit that goes on.
Yep.
A lot of stuff that happens on the road. I got to see, just kind of what I want for the future, how I can do things differently, how I can, just how I personally, like if it's my tour, how I want things to run, things like that. So it kind of gave me a schematic of how Barz is going to do it when I get the chance to do it. So,
for sure.
It was cool though, and shout out to Twista.
Yeah,
he got his little gun club thing going on now, so he really big onto that. Doc is actually giving classes on like shooting and shit. So
Oh,
like, I was
man.
thinking about tapping in. So like, Twista taught you how to shoot guns.
Come on, dog.
Like, I mean, you know.
Another thing under your belt for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Cool.
Let's get into what are 3 things you gotta have in the studio or wherever setting you are when you're recording. 3 things.
So
Could be whatever.
My 3 things is always gonna be, I need a blunt, most definitely. Sorry, mom, whoever. Like, I just do. I'm gonna need some tequila. Cause anybody know me? Hornitos.
Come on,
Hornitos. Me and Tequila's O'Neills are cool, so I'm gonna definitely need a little something. And then, what's another thing I need?
It could be like a movie. It could be like anything. Some more music playing. It could be whatever.
My engineer that I go to, shout out to Chosen. He always got like little like world star joints in the background playing, and just kind of like just keeps a vibe flowing of the in between moments where it's just still always music oriented.
Yeah.
I kind of like having like things to kind of watch and
Like
kind of
background noise.
Yeah, a little
almost,
background something in
for
the
sure.
meantime. Have a little. I like people with me sometimes too.
Yeah.
Cause you can kind of get an opinion of what you kind of did, a consensus of like, did I do that? Did I? Cause when you make music by yourself, I feel like you don't always get. You might put something on that maybe you should have kept off, and it wouldn't be offensive if somebody said, "Hey man, maybe not." That's why I like about Cho, because he'll be like, "Bro, I like what you're doing, but like maybe we can go a little bit more this way, or maybe that was a little flat." Like he'll be 100 with you, and like you can either take that or not. You could be like, "Nah, I don't want it. I want to keep it this way." But a lot of times, like they're good. It's constructive criticism. It's good ideas. So I think that's helpful to have. So I say my third. Actually, I'm gonna change, and my third would be another ear. To kind of help me get, maybe I need more hooks or more melodies, or maybe I could have a cold ad lib or something.
Absolutely. Okay. We also do a thing over here called rapid fire questions, this or that.
Okay.
So I got a couple for you. We'll start off with Sade, Anita Baker.
Sade all day.
All day? No question?
I all day. Actually, that If You Were Mine cut has a little Sade influence on it, because if anybody knows Sade, that Cherish the Day, she said, "If you were mine, I wouldn't want to go to heaven." So that's kind of where that "If You Were Mine" came from. But It was like, my take on it was, again, you know what I'm saying? Because this was like a repeat. So if we could get a chance to do this one more time, it was kind of like one of those things. So "If You Were Mine" again.
Absolutely. And there's so many samples in like new songs. So it's like you always go back to the foundation for sure.
I think Sade is like the OG for females though, as far as like heartbreak music, as far as, because I feel like certain artists, they just have a genre or a kind of a category that they stick to when they write. Some of them are all over and you can do all types of cuts, but I feel like there's certain artists, like you got like Juice WRLD, you know what I'm saying, where a lot of his music was geared towards like depression and like pill type shit, or you've got like Mac, where he might talk about his advice. Like, you've got different artists that talk about different things that they feel, so they feel more comfortable in certain lanes. So I feel like Sade is that OG that will like she gonna take you through it.
Absolutely.
Through all of it.
She like a Mary J. Blige almost. Like,
but just to me, she's just like, I don't know, she's like that fly light skinned version of Shorty off the Huxtables, but like that singing, like just cool. Was on that, not Vanessa, it's the other one.
That was I want to say it's Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like that, but like sings, like, like she's just so true to me. Like, I don't know, everybody got somebody to speak to him, and I Sade just be talking to me, man.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, let's keep it moving. Now let's go Missy or Busta Rhymes.
Missy, because I love Missy for the fact that she was different completely from any female that looked like her. Because I mean, who just gonna come out in a trash bag and just run around in the trash bag gigging and shit? You know what I'm saying? The fact that her and Timbaland kind of, I recognize the struggle and appreciate it, because her and Timbo was in, studio apartment on the floor type time. You know what I'm saying? They was grinding, making beats, doing their thing. And as a female that also makes beats, you know what I'm saying? To get to see her really get to showcase them, and then be so close with Aaliyah, and like she's
the one for me. Aaliyah's the one. You can't tell me nothing about her.
You definitely can't tell me nothing about her either. because she loved the Isley Brothers, and I love the Isley Brothers. That's like my older spirit animal. If I could tap in, I just want to be Ron a little bit. But
to hear you born, you said 95, and to know the Isley Brothers music, that's something in itself, because it's like, damn. The Isleys was like 60s, 70s, but it's like...
That's my shit, though.
Yeah.
I love all that shit. I love the Commodores. I love the OJs. I love the BGs.
Talking my language.
I love, you know what I'm saying? I love all that. I love Luther.
Yeah.
But see, my grandma, I'm very close with my grandmother, so I used to spend a lot of time with her and listening to those cuts, B.B. King, stuff like that, you know, so... Or my parents used to cook on Sundays in the kitchen, and they had
that music would be playing all day.
Playing in the crib. My mom's still good for that. I actually got us singing a Delphonics song, or it's either Delphonics or Blue Magic. I think it's a Blue Magic actually. I think it's that let the sun run again, hurry, hurry, step right on in. Sideshow.
Sideshow.
So there's a note where he tries to hit the hurry. And my mom, we're literally on Snap, and she like was trying to hit it and start coughing, and we start crying and laughing, you know. So it's like just coming up. That's where I got a lot of that from, and I don't know. I think I'm an old soul anyway. I really feel like I'm 75. I just feel like a 27-year-old body, but
the music is there.
That shit taps in with me because they don't sing like that anymore. They don't feel like that anymore. They don't talk like that anymore. It was just there was ways like the Isleys, for instance, like there was ways that they could say stuff they say right now, but they said it in a disguised way that was like sexy with it. Cause they didn't just say like, "Hey girl, let's go do this." You know what I'm saying? They were like, you know,
they kept it PG.
It was PG, but you knew what was going on. You know what time it was.
Yep.
You know, nobody. These old schools didn't have 7, 8, 9 kids for no reason. You know what I'm saying? They knew what was going on, but they didn't have to just say that. So I like the way they they
parents
came
knew what
across.
they was talking
real
about.
fly with it, with the bell bottom. Put the bell bottoms on. They, you know,
they did it
with the froze,
live
and shit.
instruments, all that for sure.
And they were cutting up like those. Those are timeless joints. When you watch stuff about James Brown, when you watch, you know, just see how they composed and the things that they had to overcome. Like artists now got stuff they gotta, you know, work against, but like. They had to work against like segregation and like all, you know, trying to fight to get time against other artists of different colors, and like they had a lot going on, a lot going on to get booked in places that you couldn't get to one place. You had to take these little joints. But I'm gonna bang this little joint out. It's gonna be so many people. Like we gonna have to do one show and let them out and let the other ones in. You know, like I gotta pay homage to the old schools because they have the feeling in it. And then now we can have timeless recaps of that in a million trillion different ways, samples, you know, and that's why I love Kanye, because I mean he brought the sample game to a whole nother level, to bring in some of those old school cuts, to be like, this is, you know, we're gonna do it like this, like man, like the joint that Twista does every show. He's gonna definitely do that slow jams. He's gonna bring it out most definitely because it's a classic, and that sample is just retarded. Like it's just it's
fire.
Off the chain. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, let's move to Lil Wayne and Carter. Kanye West college dropout.
Ah, shit. I'm gonna say college.
That's my last one.
Okay, I'm gonna say college dropout just because Kanye has been such an inspiration to me, especially like even though he's had the period of like new Kanye, you could call it, where a lot of people don't care for new Kanye, but new Kanye is still goated to me because what brother can go from making regular music or secular music and turn around and make a whole religious cut that is so fire. The samples on the religious cut were fire. And I'm not even one that listens to stuff like that all the time. My dad used to play me out with that growing up. So it's not really, it's kind of like, I'm like, when I hear that shit, I could play that all day long. Yeah. And it make me feel like I inspired as a motherfucker. I want to go to church and everything, bro. Like he found a way to tap in to, I feel like the sinners that maybe nobody else could have tapped into them. Like, dog is crazy. That college dropout, like being a youngin' and listening to that and just seeing him be so different because he's got his polos and he's got like the sweaters and
Louis V
you know,
and
and he just was real like kind of an Abercrombie type nigga. And then you got all these tall T gangster niggas that he was up against. So for him to come out and then be making the beats and then just be such an impactful part and just the shit that he said and like how he went about it, you know what I mean? Like he's something else for me. I love all forms of Kanye. Even though I will say, I don't know, I'm partial to My Dark Twisted Fantasy is like my favorite, or Watch the Throne. I like that combo album, him and Jay, because I mean Jay's the GOAT, so you can't like. I'll be trying to be like Jay in that one take sense when I get in the studio. I'll be trying to be like Jay so bad, but I can't. Like I can't. I'll be trying. I think I'll be irritated with my damn self because I'll be like, how does he do this? Yeah. But yeah, definitely College for me. Which I'm not mad at the other one either because that's why I was like, damn. But me. The Wayne album that probably stuck out the most for me, honestly, is that the Carter 3. The Carter 3 is like, you know, we played the hell out of that album when it dropped. That whole summer till the next summer, we just bumped that over and over again because that one was crazy too. But if I'm picking between the two, it's got to be College Dropout all day.
Gotcha. But yeah, we're gonna close it out. And just before we do that, though, I want you to let the people know where they can find you on your social tags, your music, all that, anything that's involving you, where they can check it out for you.
All right. So you can find me on Instagram as player like if you was playing a game, player1, PLAYER _BARZ, not a fucking S, it's a Z. Same thing on Snapchat, SoundCloud, Player Barz, Facebook. I think Facebook is FGF Barz, but yeah, you can find me wherever. Definitely subscribe to YouTube though. I'm on there on YouTube too. I got a short film on there. It's like 11 minutes long or something, but it's a little breakdown of the tape. If you've never actually heard the tape all the way through, it's got like 5 songs on it. You can kind of get a sample of each song. And shout out to Van Shelley too, cause that short film is crazy. I think it really kind of it came across how I wanted it to. It's got a vision, so if you ever watch the short film, it definitely has a concept to it. Check that out. Throw them views up there, and most definitely just take a listen. Take a listen. It may not be something that you think that you want to listen to, but like Doug said, he thinks it's a no skipper.
You definitely want to listen to it. Trust me. That's good for me too.
Yeah, it's got a lot of. At the time when I wrote it, it definitely is just kind of one of those, you know, trying to get back right tapes, trying to get a hold of your thoughts. Sometimes we go through a lot as people, especially in relationships, and it just kind of is one of them that, especially if you're going through it, I think it's a good one for that. It'll get you through, I think.
Yeah, longevity in music. And with that being said, we got Barz, Player Barz.
Yeah.
Like that, man. Bruce Leroy Bar Report. Peace.
Still got that ace. You know I always got the hot shit. Going like an auction. Smoking on it.